Sorry for making you guys wait. I couldn't find my fucking laptop charger. But I hope you guys are doing splendid this fine evening. If my audio sounds a little fucked up, for the four of you that are in here at the moment, let me know. But I hope you guys are doing oh shit, let me turn that off. This fine evening. My bad. What up, geezer? No, I'm not a geezer, bro. Still got a lot of life left in me. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Before I maybe wait for a lot of for some of my peeps to come in. But I'm not gonna give any numbers down. Like before I get into the boxing talk, like cryptos and fucking gold, silver, more so silver, have been getting ass hammered lately. I did buy like $700 of crypto a couple days ago. No bullshit. I bought like fucking I bought like $900. And then that shit fucking ended up fucking me over, but whatever. I'm a long-term holder, so I don't give a shit. Silver got down to like $25.04 spot price, and I ended up making a big order today. I'm getting it sent to my house, my other house, if you will, in the other state. I don't want to get hammered. But I mean, for those of you who have sort of followed my advice and have invested into crypto, long-term players like myself, or silver, which is even better, you know, hold the line. I mean, like, you know, I'm not telling you to hold the line for anything whack. I wouldn't invest in just any crypto, and in fact, I wouldn't invest in crypto at all if you don't have your hands on silver. I mean, if you have a decent amount of silver, then invest in whatever the fuck you want. But one of the biggest suppliers of, or one of the biggest mints of silver, which is or silver and gold, this is the South African Krugerrand. I'm pretty sure they're going to be hard to come by, like with what's happening in South Africa. A lot of you guys don't know, the ex-president of South Africa was arrested for embezzlement. Yeah, he's in jail as it currently stands for embezzlement, and for basically thieving, I guess. Is my comment accurate of how you were at El Falco? Let me see. I'm sorry. Mr. Jermell is better than Jamal. Whoop. Yeah, I actually had you in mind. You were the inspiration. What the fuck? What happened to my thing? Oh, you were the inspiration. Yo, what happened to my comment thing? Oh, here it goes. I'm sorry. You were the inspiration for my boxing title this evening, Tyrone. So for that, I salute ye. And we also have the Watcher in the building. If you could, guys, subscribe to Tyrone Smith Boxing or TS Boxing. If you guys want to jump on, you're more than welcome. Subscribe to Watcher. If you guys in the comment section, I mean, like, you're more than welcome to jump into the StreamYard, which I think I've thrown out the link. But anyhow, as I was saying, like, the South African Krugerrand might be might be a hot commodity in the future, or might be a rarity with what's happening in South Africa. I'm pretty sure that they've halted production of the silver Krugerrands and gold Krugerrands, which is one of my favorite coins. So that's more on the supply chain issues too. So the fact that these shits are going down with the world in chaos, like in Cuba, in Haiti, in South Africa, I mean, and we haven't really gotten our ass kicked by like real supply line issues, flooding in Germany and Europe. You know, it's crazy shit happening, and you know, gold, silver, cryptos are kind of like on the downtrend. That means you should be buying it. You know, don't try to pile in late in the game. and I've piled into certain cryptos when they were at their highest. I don't like regret it because I'm a long-term holder, but I advise you not to do so. Also, if you guys haven't, I advise you to please, if you could do me a favor, subscribe to my first panelist of the evening, Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk and More. You can find them at his channel by that same title, Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk and More. My apologies. But let the people know where we can find you, Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk and More.
Oh, man, you can find me in between the sheets with your grandmammy. I'm joking with y'all. But nah.
Granddaddy?
Yo, grandmammy, fool.
Oh, okay.
What the hell you think is you always playing that weird shit, man.
The truth comes out. Yo, does my audio sound fucked up, Mike?
Nah, you sound all right.
Okay, yeah, because I have a fan in front of me.
Sound all right.
But thank you for coming on, though. I know you heard about the South African thing too, right?
Oh, yeah, man. But you just got to. It is what it is, man. It just seems like every time an old dude get up out of there, they think that he's a threat. They probably want to get rid of him. He probably did steal. I mean, nobody never know what happened,
Yeah, and I mean, they responded to it by sending the military out there. And I remember looking at the numbers, and it was like 2,500 military dudes. And I remember like the first couple of days, there were like 10 people died. I'm like, yo, there's like videos of like random dudes bucking into like crowds. And it looked like 10 people died in those little random videos. I'm like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you lock this dude up for embezzlement, but the new president killing people.
Yeah, no, these are random cats. I mean, like they're all bad.
No, some of them aren't random. Some of them aren't random. Like if you look at their trucks and then look at the weapons they have, look at the driver, that ain't random. Those are private security companies.
Oh no, I saw another one like with those guys like on top of that hill.
I saw a couple of private videos of private security trucks, and the video entitles public people going around shoot people. It's like, no, that wasn't. You could literally see that was a company truck for security. And those are all the rich neighborhoods. Yeah. Those are all like the stuff that they're trying to protect. Not nothing broke.
And if some of you guys don't know, like there's some areas of South Africa that are super, 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 super opulent, like well built houses, like big money out there. And like South Africa is fucking gorgeous. Even in these videos where they're tearing shit up, you could tell how nice the landscape is. And don't get it twisted. I mean, like a lot of assholes are gonna fucking say like the typical sideways racist shit, like, oh, look at how these people are tearing up their own shit. Like, nah, I mean, like, a lot of times like dissension like this isn't natural. Like, a lot of times it's could be fabricated, or there's just something in the air. I mean, like in general, like things don't feel right here in the US. In Australia, where my man Watcher is, they're about to go into another lockdown in Melbourne, I think. Fucking France, fucking tearing shit up over there. Cuba, it just could be the Ides of fucking July. I mean, where people are just running amok. But I mean, I always see things in a positive light. I don't think that I think we might be at our worst now, but we may be in the darkest part of the tunnel, and there's only light ahead, if you will. Like, I don't want to be a pessimist, but yeah, I mean, like fucking oh yeah, Watcher said, yep, I'm in lockdown right now, and it sucks too. I mean, like there's also a story of like 100, which I don't know if like it's over 100 British soldiers that got the thing that's running around right now, even though they got the thing that
Delta Force strand.
Pardon me?
The Delta Force strand.
Oh no, I don't know if it was the Delta or whatever the hell, but they also had the protection against all 100 of them, and all 100 of them got it. So I mean, like, approach things with caution. I don't want to get this channel nuked, so I don't want to talk about things too deep in that vein.
Put that needle in your ass. Yeah, go ahead.
Proceed with caution, like with all these things at hand, and don't let nobody tell you like that you can't do what you want. I know, like in maybe Watcher's case, I don't know how gully they get. Like if you're out and about, fucking in Australia, like what would happen to you if it was just a ticket? I'd be out and about. Like they'd kiss my ass and I wouldn't pay no ticket. And I did just that fucking last year and this year. Last year, I got to see this entire country with nobody on the highway, and it was fantastic. I ain't locking shit down. Like fucking, you can't keep me down. I've been kept down too long in the past. Like fucking, I'm not losing any more time. Yeah, but let me get to the matter at hand. The fight that happened this weekend. Actually, like the fight that happened this weekend isn't shit compared to what I was talking to, but this is a boxing primary channel for the time being, and I do want to talk about that. Jermell Charlo, I mean, like, even though I'm making this video, and even though some cocksucker is gonna say like that I'm a hater of like the PBC, or because God forbid you throw up any dissension, then like you're a hater of this. Pardon me?
Said, well, you got a hard off.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said, well, it do seem like you got a hard off for the PBC.
Oh no, I do. Currently, I mean, like, and that's more like, and that's not on the individual fighters. Besides Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence, primarily, but it's more of a PBC management issue that I get vexed about. But Tyrone on this platform, like, and me, like, we're volleying back and forth as far as my I'm not gonna say overrating yet, because I think Jermell Charlo still has a lot of potential, but he fought like really bad this fight. I mean, Castano is there to be beat. I thought Castano was gonna lose when he fought his last fight against the Brazilian homie. But that Brazilian homie looked like abject dog shit in that fight. So I mean, like, it's 2 days in a row or 2 nights in a row where he gets the benefit of having somebody who's on their worst performances in front of him. I mean, honestly, Castano should have won. I'm not gonna disagree with you if you thought it was a draw. I am gonna disagree with you if you thought Charlo won. A lot of channels aren't saying that Charlo won, even the channels that are like more proponents of the PBC, and that's the right thing. A lot of them are saying like a draw, which I'm not tripping, but Castano was there to be beat, like, and Jermell like didn't set it off. I mean, like, I don't know what was happening there. Castano has one trick to him in that he knows how to fight low or crouch and fight, but he's kind of straight up and down. I mean, like, if he gets his jab off on you, or if he really doesn't throw jabs that much, if he gets his left hand on you, he's going to throw his right hand right behind it. And the angle that he throws it from, like low and crouch down, it's kind of tough. Plus, I mean, like, in this fight, he showed you he has a good chin. He's not going to walk away from in front of you. Another thing, too, I mean, some people were saying that Jermell Charlo had a 10-8 round. Jermell Charlo didn't have a 10-8 round. Castano may have had a 10-8 round, but I still wouldn't give him a 10-8 round neither. But I did have Castano winning the fight by 1 or 2 rounds. I mean, I'm going to watch the fight again. But one thing that I did do is I was watching some of Jermell's old fights, and, you get the truth from the mouth of babes. Like my young friend Tyrone Smith, fucking he had a lot of I mean, he was 100% right. I mean, Jermell like had the benefit of fighting people that didn't have great chins. And also a lot of the guys that he fought don't move very well laterally. And Castano doesn't move very well laterally. But he was giving him all kinds of problems, fucking rocking him. Like, I don't know if they're going to run it back. I mean, like, and whether they do run it back or not, I don't know if it's for all the belts, like mandatory is going to get in the way. Jermell has a little bit of a history of not running it back. Well, in the case of Tony Harrison, I thought he should have ran it back a third time with Harrison. He didn't. And that fight had more lore than anything else that was on his resume. A part 3 would have been Jermell's best fight, and it might have been flirting with a pay-per-view. Nevertheless, I mean, he's always showed opposition to fighting Harrison again, which is a shame. But this guy beat him in a more resounding fashion than what Harrison did. I mean, Harrison was getting off a lot better in the early portion of that second fight, but Castano consistently was giving him all kinds of hell. Even the rounds that Jermell won, Castano wasn't fucking taking a break. He hurt Castano in the later portion of the fight, and Castano still fought at the end of that round.
Nah, he hurt him a few times in that fight.
He hurt him a few times significantly. But
Yeah,
I'm talking about when Jermell hurt. What you're saying? Jermell hurt Castano, or Castano hurt Jermell?
No, Charlo hurt Castano a few times in that fight.
He did.
He even hurt him to the body. Like this is my whole thing. You can't compare Harrison to this fight. Like Harrison literally outboxed Charlo in the first fight. Just point blank period. This dude didn't outbox him. He just outworked him. Like there was no way in hell he should have let this smaller guy, just go forward and throw his shots at you. There was Charlo just didn't listen. Like people can say how good Charlo is or how good he ain't. But from what I've seen from this fight, Charlo didn't listen to no instructions his trainers were saying. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Charlo, yeah, of course, a boxer, or if you're on a football field, a basketball field, you can hear everybody. But, it's just that who was he listening to? Was he listening to what he felt that he should do? Because all it looked like he was just waiting for that one shot. And then when he did land that shot, he couldn't cut off the ring to get the guy because Castano basically went running. Like anybody else would have if they was hurt like that. And Castano, to me, he never recovered from that. The whole fight, Charlo didn't know how to get back to him. The next round, he didn't know how to get back to him. The round after that, didn't know how to get back to him. The round after that, he didn't know how to get back to him. Hell, it could have been 2 days from now. He still wouldn't even know how to get back to him because he needs to just listen to his trainer. If Charlo would have listened to his trainer that night, the fight would have been over. But he didn't. He wasn't working nobody. He wasn't using his jab like he's supposed to. People like, oh, he threw X amount of jabs. Well, how come he kept letting this guy get in the inside? How come he kept sitting on the ropes on purpose? He wasn't getting caught on the ropes. He wanted to lean on the ropes. He wanted him to swing to try to catch him. But the shit didn't work out because he kept telegraphing, loading up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get him up out of there like he'd been getting all these other guys out in the later round. That shit's not going to work with everybody. And shout out Castano. He did what he was supposed to do. But too bad. He didn't get the decision that he wanted. I thought Castano won. What's up, L-Dub? What's happening? I thought Castano won. I just thought he outworked him per round. I know some guys were telling me that, the most effective punches looks better than the refs, but I don't know what the refs going to grade the fight on. They could have been grading fights a certain way. On this fight, graded a little bit different. But in this fight, nobody deserved a 10-8 round.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, and a lot of people were tripping about the 117 to 111 like that a judge had. Who gives a shit? I mean, like ultimately, the fact that it was a draw or that a lot of people thought Castano actually won, I think was the right outcome. I think the better outcome would have been Castano walking away with the victory because, I mean, like, it's kind of whack. Like, I mean, like, that you have a unification bout of this magnitude and that somebody that you walk away with a draw, especially when one guy I thought was not a clear victor, but a victor or looked like more of a victor. But another thing too, I mean, like, this is the first time that I saw somebody forcing the action and forcing Jermell Charlo to try to fight off the back foot. And like, he's not very good at that. Like, I mean, like, this is his first test. He could have moved side to side and done action. He didn't. So, I mean, as far as in that department, I thought that at some point down the line, like, you know, especially if he would have unified the division, that maybe Canelo would have tried to fight this Charlo rather than the other Charlo. I mean, you know, if he unified the division. And I thought that in that case that maybe Canelo would have had a tough time with Jermell Charlo. Canelo would fucking walk through Charlo at this point. Like, I mean, like, you know, especially if they did fight, he'd make Charlo go up to like 164 or something, maybe even more. And I think Canelo would see what happened here. So Canelo has way better head movement than Castano. Castano didn't even have great head movement. Just ducked and went in. Ducked, went in. So, I mean, it was disappointing. I mean, like, you know, I've always rooted for this Charlo more than the other Charlo. I always thought that this Charlo had more talent with that than the other Charlo, which I still do. I mean, I think he still has more potential than the other Charlo. But having said that, I mean, like, you know, back to square one.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, if Charlo listened to his trainer and do what his trainer tell him to do, that's a 50-50 fight. If he don't, he probably gets knocked out.
Because I mean, like, his trainer was like begging him.
If you look at Castano was timing the left hand to throw his shot. He was countering his left hand with a left back at him. I mean, let's be real. It's like Castano did have a bit of a defense and some hand movement in that fight. He kept his guard up nice and strong. Charlo couldn't get around it because Castano got a little bitty head, right? Charlo got that big ass head, so you can't hide that much. But the same thing is he kept his fucking hands up. You know what I'm saying? So if he's keeping his hands up, where's that body work at?
And
you know,
salute to L Dub Boxing. Thank you for coming through, man.
You know, and he didn't throw. He rarely throw some good combinations and everything. You know, he threw 1-2s a few times, but a lot of them 1-2s had him off balance. But he didn't throw anything with that. You know, he didn't. He just 1-2. What you doing? What you doing? Jab, jab. 1-2. Oh.
Then he disappeared.
Let me let you in so you can hit me a few times. Castano's still around because he knows that, you know, he got to get back. You know, every time Charlo would hit him, he'd come back with a flurry of punches and land a few. And yeah, I think that shit looked good for the ref. But I just don't think Charlo did enough per round, man, to win that shit. And
yeah, I agree.
Like you said, his trainer kept telling him over and over again, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? He don't want to listen.
Yes, I mean, I hope he finds himself. The one thing I don't want to see, I mean, like, even though he did take a little bit of a beating in this fight, I mean, nothing like insurmountable, but get right back the fuck in there. I mean, hopefully, like, you guys could make this fight in a manner in which mandatories aren't as much of a factor. I think mandatories are going to go in the way of shit no matter what, which fucking sucks. But I don't want to see that, though. I do want to see the division unified because at the end of the day, I mean, Jermell Charlo is 30 or 31 years old. So these dudes are maybe entering the twilight of their peaks, you know. So I mean, and he's been a warrior as far as like the level of competition that he's faced. But I mean, it hasn't really amounted to like crossover fandom. And I mean, like, you know, for us boxing fucking fiends, I mean, like, you know, crossover doesn't mean much to us. But at the end of the day, like, to have a big star, not to, I mean, you know, you never know who could be a big star in the future. But you do need more stars in this sport. And like, I mean, like, being that I think he has potential, unifying a division and maybe dipping from that division probably would have been a great look. But now we're back.
I think the fight's going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to say the fight is not going to happen because, you know, what he said in the ring, which that was the business side talking, in my opinion, because that was a politically correct fucking answers that he was given. I wouldn't even sweat whether that had happened or not, because ain't nobody said nothing that it ain't gonna happen. So give it some time, and they'll make that fight, man. There's no, I don't, I don't see the point in dwelling that it's not going to happen when that's the only thing that makes sense out of them two, So
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, like, but you never know. I mean, like, again, like, to me, like, the fight between him and Tony Harrison, if it was between part 1, part 2, or part 3, the fight that I wanted to see the most was part 3. Not even a question. I thought Tony Harrison lost the first fight, even though Tony Harrison was given in the business. But I thought that maybe Tony Harrison got the benefit of the judges that day. But I mean, I wasn't crying that Tony Harrison won. But the fight that I wanted to see the most was probably part 3 of that trilogy, and he just seemed adamant about not fighting Harrison again. I don't know why. So I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if
that trilogy, man. Like that, it would have been, if damn near would have been the same outcome. Like I said, the dude went to the first fight, did his own thing, went into the second fight, did what he was, listened to his trainers. Then then say, I learned this and learned why not to do this, and listen to my trainers, and I never do that again. I know what it means to lose, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into this fight, do the same damn backslides, do the same damn thing. So I'm telling you, it's like the Charlo that has to come up in these premium fights is the Charlo that works as a team with his team, not as an individual. When he works as an individual, he loses. When he works as a team, he wins. But like Watcher said, that's what should have happened. But he didn't. He worked as an individual, so he showed individual work, and the little man got up on his chest and mollywopped.
Yeah, I think he relies on getting bailed out by his own power at times, or like, because when John Jackson and him fought, John Jackson was fucking him up, like straight up, like, I think he got lucky at the end there, but John Jackson was really giving him the business, like, that fight. And honestly, when he fought this cat from LA, Vanes, I thought Vanes could have won that fight, like, personally, like, but I think he's spoiled by partially by the fact that he thinks he could get somebody out there at any point later on in the fight, like, so I mean, like, don't like try to set your shit up, or don't, like, invest in the body, or invest in shying away your opponent from trying to throw haymakers at you, like, but it's just, it's really disappointing. I mean, like, and I'm the biggest, like, opponent of how the PBC does things, like, but I mean, I've never felt that way about Jermell Charlo. I don't like his attitude. I think he's a fucking prick. And I think from what you hear about people, that he snaps on people or like spazzes. I mean, like, fucking I don't understand that shit, because he's not even a big guy like that. Like, why nobody fucking rocks him, like, or him or his brother, like, because I heard both of them are like that. But in spite of all that, I just like the potential of it. And the fact that he had the unification in his hands sets him up for stardom, or could have set him up for stardom. And he hasn't really had that big money fight, or so, I thought it was, like, well-deserved, like, if he would have got the victory to launch his career into stardom. The fact that he was, like, less heralded this whole time as far as the two brothers go, like, they always give a lot more like love to Jamal than they did Jermell. But it just sucks, that this whole shit went down. Like, I am kind of, like, not sad for him. I could care less. Like, I mean, he's still gonna go to a nicer house than this one and drive a nicer car than mine, like, fucking on. But it's just that for the sake of the sport of boxing, nobody knows that these guys, like, exist like that. Like, the fact that these dudes that are twins, that are fighting at a championship level, sharp-looking guys, no homo, you know, they're not really on the radar like that for non-boxing fans, or which I mean, like, who cares about casuals or non-boxing fans? But for the sake of the sport, you know, you do want to see like somebody who could dethrone like the likes of Canelo, or somebody who, you know, all these like late 30s, early 40s guys like Pacquiao, like try to make them forget these guys. You know, when you get the chance of somebody having that capability like for the future, and they don't take advantage of it in the ring, that's depressing. But with us now, I have my second panelist of the night, Tyrone Smith. Let the people know where we can find you, Tyrone.
TS Boxing on YouTube.
Yo, pardon me, my friend. But I have the fans going, bro. Like, you sound a little low, but
Can you hear me okay?
now I can hear you. Fantastic.
Okay.
But what were your thoughts on the evening, my friend?
Like a lot of people, I wasn't the only one, but I mean, I said that if Castano could take a punch, I don't think he can. It would be a close fight, and it was a close fight. I actually saw a guy. I'm not going to tell you the guy's channel name. I'll tell you behind the scenes. I like him when it comes to certain stuff, but he says some other stuff that I'm not a fan of. But he called it exactly like that. He said that PBC will rob Castano or something like that. I won't call it a robbery, but I don't see how anybody scores at 117, 111 for Jermell Charlo. I don't know how that works out. And I've always said this again. I said this guy is a solid fighter, but people need to take the glasses off. I think what he does well, he's pretty athletic, actually. He's pretty fast, which I like. He is strong, but he's not as strong as he makes out to be. There are a lot of guys walking around who are my size who would just stomp this dude strength-wise. You know, he's not – there's a – you know –
Yeah, but you're 6'8", bro.
I'm 6'1".
I'll fuck with you.
At 6'1.5", but there's a lot of guys around that weight class. Like, does he beat anybody serious at 160? No. Let's be real.
You think?
Does he beat
actually,
Danny
yo, you're right.
John?
I think Triple G would rock this dude, bro. I mean, like, not
real talk.
I don't know the current iteration of Triple G, but I think Triple G would give him a lot of trouble. Like, because Triple G fights a lot like Castano.
A lot of trouble. Well, he'd give him more than a lot of trouble.
So at this time, who do you think would be the victor in that fight?
Of course, Triple G, even right now, would stop Jermell Charlo.
That's crazy too, because I thought that either Charlo would have swam on.
No, because you're wearing Charlo lens. That's what I was begging you to take off.
But it's not like that with both Charlos. I like my affinity is for Jermell for some reason.
Which is
I'm
bizarre.
a younger brother too, bro. Like, so
because I know guys like you, and it's usually with the older boxing fans. You guys fall in love with Undisputed, however it comes. It's not about being undisputed. It's about beating. It's about who you beat. It's not about being undisputed. That might get you in the Hall of Fame down the line because nobody will remember the name. But I mean, it's his run. I think Terrence Crawford's Undisputed is better than Jermell's.
Well, hell yeah, bro. Not even close. No, you know what it is, too, Tyrone?
I mean, Postal is better than all those. I mean, Rosario. I'm not. Let's for X. Tony Harrison is a good fighter, but he's not better than Postal. He's not better than Postal.
Absolutely not.
Rosario, I'd say, is better than Ndongo. Ndongo is shit.
Yo, Ndongo leading up to that, though, man. Ndongo had a lot of potential. Like, I mean, like
no. He caught the guy from Russia with a lucky punch, and Ricky Burns is washed.
And he was road warrioring too. I give him credit for that.
Okay,
so he was being a road warrior. No, but you know what it is though, too, Tyrone, and like all that stuff that like people subscribe to the notion like that that the brothers get hated on in boxing.
They
That's
deserve
100% true. Like
They
I think
deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve it.
so. Sometimes like this is the only way, like, or the like to get like acclaim at times. Like you can't like argue against like having like Undisputed. So like when there's a chance to get it, like especially for a bro, like because I'm not like nuts about like the fact that Taylor got Undisputed.
No, his Undisputed run was way better than Jermell's run.
It might have been better than it was better than Bud's run too.
You can't even, it's better than Bud's run too. You can't even compare it. He fought Postal in his 12th fight. I watched that fight. That was 4 years ago. He fought Postal in his 12th fight. Who's doing that? And I'm not a big Taylor fan. I think Taylor is a dirty fighter, for sure. And I think his ceiling is at 140. But he fought Postal in his 12th fight, bro. Who's doing that?
Word up. But like it is hard for like a lot of brothers, like to get like,
because they have Charlo lens. I said in the group chat, I don't know if you read it, but I said after the fight, I said, hopefully all these people can stop riding Jermell Charlo's dick, but they won't, because it's their only way to work in the morning.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say some people really scored the fight for him, like legitimately. You know what I'm saying, without those lenses on. But there's some people, I just think that their feelings for the guy, like being a little bit biased, got in the way for them of them scoring the fight. And rather not what people believe would happen, rather not they believe is a draw or win or lose or whatever the case may be, is that, like I said, it's like, you don't want people don't even want to admit that he just don't know how to listen to people. He don't. No. He's not. The dude is not a team player. People want to talk about Wilder, but this dude, this is his second loss, and he's just not a fucking team player. He's gonna have to lose every now and again to get the realization that, in order for him to win, he just can't rely on his boxing IQ and his ability. He
don't
needs
got boxing
IQ. Basically he doesn't have a boxing IQ, but his boxing IQ is not enough to win him these type of fights.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like even the unifying the division now, it doesn't have that same allure. Like, I'm thoroughly off of the Jermell train. I'm not gonna diss him. Like, I mean, like, unless like the whole like.
That's why, like, guys who just got off, I'm trying to bring them back to reality. Why were you on there to begin with is what I'm saying. All the signs were there. They just kind of fell in love with this whole unified stuff that doesn't make sense. I mean, guys who are obviously bums that he had fought does not make you a great fighter just because they had a title next to their name. It doesn't.
Keep cooking, bro. Keep cooking.
It doesn't. Rosario is probably one of the worst unified champions in recent times, hands down. Indongo is worse than he is, and that's just what it is. He beat J-Rock because J-Rock can't take a punch, and I mean we can keep going on and on about this.
Yeah, but I don't base it off. I don't base it off of just that, because all the fights that you have, they're not going to be the same, because of fighting styles. What I'm saying is, when this guy listens, he wins. When he don't listen, he fucking loses. He can get away with fighting his way against certain fighters, but he can't fight his way against other fighters by him. Saying just he needs a trainer to tell him. Now, in my opinion, I think if he would have listened to Derrick James, he would have got him out of there, but he didn't.
I think, and I'll tell you this, he might have had an issue with his right shoulder. I don't know, but it didn't make a mega difference in the fight. People trying to say he looked off. No, somebody who looked off in the ring is Wilder. That's number 2. And the guy who looked the worst I've ever – guys coming in with apparent injury like that Highland cat who literally had one leg. That's called looking off, or Wilder looking off, stumbling. That's off. But they didn't have much to say when he was about to, when he hurt him in that second round. I think what happened was that should have been an 8 count in that third round, like you said, Mike. he hit him hard, and he was gun shy after that.
He wasn't gun shy after that. He fought the same damn way. He fought the same way, and he kept going towards the ropes on purpose. My whole thing is, wasn't nothing wrong with that motherfucking shoulder. And if something was wrong with the shoulder, where's the jab at? Where's the jab at? Yeah, you threw all them jabs, but you didn't throw it enough for Derrick James. You didn't throw your jab enough for me. I saw that. He flat out didn't. Like, he kept going towards the ropes, letting the dude get all up on him, kept letting the guy get in the inside in the middle of the ring, went to sit up over there and exchange with the guy when you didn't have to like that. All you had to do was listen to your trainer and set the motherfucker up. But all you wanted to do was throw haymakers. You're not going to win against everybody like that. And it's just like if he was to fight Canelo right now like that by his own accord, as his own trainer, yeah, he'll lose. But if I think if he listens, then it's a 50-50 fight.
Oh, hell's no.
No
way, bro.
Canelo's too much for him. Strength.
And I don't even overrate Canelo like that.
Jamel, the guy who will beat Jamel, strong.
Y'all can say whatever y'all want, but this is my opinion. And I'm telling you, a lot of shit that I've said about some of these weird finagle ass fighters have came up. Because Canelo, what does he do? Canelo times people all day. That's all he does. Look at all his fights and his knockouts. What he's been doing, he's been timing them.
Yeah, but he'll do the same shit to Jermell.
If he listens to his trainer, which he probably won't.
Yo, honestly, if you think about it, I mean, like, Jermell's had the benefit of like a lot of put away knockouts, like, and with beating this scrawny motherfucker, what's his face?
Harrison?
No, Lubin.
Lubin? I mean, dude. Lubin needs a helmet, dude, in the ring. He has serious issues with his chin.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I mean, like, you know, the fact that he beat Lubin in so early, I mean, may have been a lot of like the allure, like maybe like the fact that people were really, really rating his power. And when I say people, throw Joski into the fray, because I was probably the engineer or the captain of that train. Conductor of that train. Mm-hmm. Fucking so I mean to
got you off.
And I to my man Tyrone, my friend, I come to you with hat in hand, bro. Like, will you? Is there space for me on the
100%. We've got open seats available. We've been trying to get guys for days. We've gotten a couple of people. You're all welcome as long as you wait.
I'll load luggage, bro. Like, I mean, you need me to clean your shoes, like,
no problem. You were sick. You were sick.
You, my friend.
You were sick. That's all it was. And everybody gets sick once in a while. I mean, I thought Andrew Tabiti was good. I mean, look.
I don't know if you ever seen the movie 12 Years a Slave. Like,
yeah, I did.
I don't remember when that other guy that was also captive, like, he went to that port along with the principal character of the movie, and then he saw like his owner like waiting for him there. Pardon me?
La Amistad?
No, in 12 Years a Slave, like, but he saw like his owner like waiting for him on the port, and like he reclaimed him, but he like hugging him and all this shit. That's me to you right now. I'm hugging you.
It's all good. But I do not like Jermell, and I do have a bias against him. I won't lie about that. I don't think it's not like he can't beat this guy. If I was him, I'd get straight into a rematch and put something together. I don't think Castano can take a big shot.
Yo, Castano is not that, and you know what's crazy?
And he's not that good.
Tyrone, like, as far as your critique of the division, I rewatched the Castano Teixeira fight, and Teixeira is ass cheeks too. Like
ass cheeks too.
Castano too.
I don't know how he beat Adames. Adames is solid. Teixeira beat him. I have no idea how. I still don't know how. I have no clue how he beat Adames.
I remember in the past, like, I don't know if you were around at these points, Tyrone, but there was many moons ago, like when I first started making videos with Michael Johnson, Michael Johnson had a claim to fame in which he would say that he could beat up Joe Joyce, and I believed him. But I think I could beat up Teixeira, bro. Like fucking, if we fought head up, like, because that motherfucker looked sorry that fight, bro. Like, and that was for a championship.
Yeah, that was for a title. He fought the fight of his life, the fight before with Adames when he got the title, and I think after that, he just could not. I mean, sometimes you're on. He was on that fight, so he came back down to earth versus Castano. And Castano, I think, is a solid, good fighter, but he doesn't blow my hair back. You know, I'm not jumping out of my seat like, wow, this is a new force at 154. I'm still waiting for that guy. We don't know who that guy is yet. And I think a guy like that, honestly, will be coming up from 147.
Yeah, it might be Boots, too. I mean, like, you know.
That's what I'm thinking.
So, like, honestly, like, we could probably. Talent. Pardon me?
A real talent.
Yeah, and it won't be Bud, too. And I love Bud. Like, I think Bud's the best guy at 147. But I don't think he could do the same thing at 154. Though, I think that Bud would probably beat Jermell, which I didn't think so before.
Yeah. I remember I told you I thought that Crawford. Yeah. Spence, I think, will destroy Jermell. I think Jermell will have a very hard time with Spence because of the strength. Spence is so much stronger than him. And I'll tell you something else, and I said this on another thing. Listen, if they were to fight, Spence will say you can have Derrick James. Even though Derrick James has been close to Spence since he was like 14, 15 years old, he'll give him to Charlo. And he'll go get his dad or something. His dad don't even know boxing. He'll just get somebody else, and he'll still beat Jermell Charlo.
He'll get Joe. Spence could get Joe Tessitore. Yo, Watcher, jump on, bro, if you want to. Fucking because Watcher was saying what like he said a motorcycle helmet. I don't know what he was.
Lubin needs a motorcycle.
Oh, Lubin, yeah.
Right, yeah,
I think I saw Lubin in Jersey City a couple years ago, like when I was living out there. I mean, not that it was my life changed because I fucking ran into this Uber celebrity, like, but
you're probably the celebrity to Lubin.
Yeah,
he's probably asking to take pictures of you.
Yeah, word up, bro. Like fucking take pictures of me and wifey.
Some of these guys, yeah, they're like. I mean, I'll never forget. I always say it. I mean, Shawn Porter and his dad were actually, you know, that look. You know, when you're like, nobody recognizes me, sort of a thing. Like, why are people saying hi to me? That's the look they had walking out of the arena after they fought over here at the Civic Center. They needed people to come and get pictures with because nobody cared about them. They had just fought the co-main, and people are walking right past them.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, you could pretty much put the kibosh on 154, like what you were saying before. But if you think about it, Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, moving up to 154, or Keith Thurman does zero for me, and those would probably be the biggest fights at 154 to pair somebody up with Danny Garcia or to pair somebody up with Shawn Porter. Like that doesn't move the needle one iota.
I agree. I agree 100%. I don't get up out of my seat for those guys, you know, to move to one. That doesn't do anything for me because they haven't.
They like got us short.
Exactly. Yeah. They haven't broken through at 47, so them moving up will do what? I thought Danny Garcia beat Shawn Porter.
They should have done that shit. They should have done that shit 2-3 years ago if that's the case.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But
they moving way too slow.
And that's more of a Shawn Porter thing, moving up. I think he'd do better than Danny Garcia. I think
he would too.
Get ripped. A bit better. I think Danny Garcia would get ripped by like Rosario, the bumpy people.
Out Rosario.
Pardon me?
We'd knock out Rosario.
Hells no.
I'll bet everything.
Come on, man. Like,
I'll bet everything. Rosario's a bum, dude.
No, I mean, like, Rosario is a bum.
Rosario ain't no bum, but he got to figure something out, though. He fucking up.
That motherfucker's lost.
He fucking up bad, man. I don't know what the fuck his problem is.
He's a non-factor, bro. Like, in 2 more fights, you may not talk about Rosario no more.
He's a one-hit wonder is what he is. It's not like it's not. It's his vulnerability. He can't take a punch, man. You cannot convince me that anybody who has a split decision with Jorge Cota is good. Jorge Cota
Jermell fought Cota, right?
Jorge Cota.
Didn't Jermell fight him too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he got knocked out the same way Lubin knocked out, with his hand outstretched and him falling. It was like the same fight. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but that whole division, I mean, like 147, I've been the biggest. I say 147 is pretty ass too. Not as bad as 154. Like, I mean,
I'm
like,
not even interested in. I just want to see Crawford Spence. Fuck all the middlemen, dude. Like, I know people are talking about, oh man, Crawford needs to fight Porter. Crawford needs to fight. No. Let's get right. Let's get right to business. Let's get right to business. Let's make the fight.
I don't think 147 is ass cheeks. I just think that, like, the tournament, like, you got two sides to a tournament, right? You got the left side, you got the right side, right? Everybody's already out the way, and everybody knows what the championship fight should be, and they don't want to. They just don't want to pull the trigger.
Yeah, but then you have comments like what Errol Spence just said this weekend too, and it didn't seem like anything moving forward towards a Bud fight. I mean, it seemed like he was already.
It isn't. This is just me. It is just me. If I really want something, no matter what somebody says on outside in the public, I'm gonna have my people go talk to them and see what's happening. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna sit up over here, play pity pat on the streets with some guy. Yeah, he could say 50-50 one day, and then the next day Earl would be like, which that's what he said recently, probably yesterday or today, like, we just need to sit down. The two sides just need to sit down and talk. But that's the whole thing. Is like, take that fucking stick out of your ass and go down over there and just talk to the dude. You know what I'm saying? How come you can't do it yourself? How come everybody got to say the word, which the no comment word, which is like, go talk to Al, or go talk to my promoter, or go talk to Bob Arum, or go talk to this person. Basically like saying no comment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or I'm gonna have to. That's like basically saying no comment. It's like the most politically correct shit somebody can say, because they don't want to fucking answer it. It's either, yeah, you want the fight, yeah, you're willing to do what you want to needs to be done to make the fight, or you don't.
I'm gonna ask you guys, do you think that fight's gonna happen ever? And I'll start with you, Michael.
I think it is. I just think that, at this point, people need to stop worried about what side you're on when it comes to Earl and Crawford, and just tell these two black ass motherfuckers, they funky asses, to get in the ring. Stop picking a side with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you giving one out to go up over here and do this madness. You giving the other one out to go up over there and not take the money. Like, just stop defending them. And
I want to comment on that in a second too. But let me ask Tyrone, what do you think? Do you think that fight's ever gonna happen?
I think it will, but I think Crawford will be older, man. He'll be on the wrong side of 35, I think, when it does happen. And whatever happens in that fight happens. But I do think that a lot of these fighters need to. I mean, I was watching an interview the other day, man, in the UFC. Colby Covington is now his own manager. I mean, he has an aide to help him with contracts, but he talks directly to Hunter Campbell and people in the UFC now. He doesn't have a middleman. And he was talking about how a reason a lot of these fights don't get made is because the managers are not transparent with you. They're not telling you exactly what's going on, and they might be miscommunicating for their own benefit. They don't tell you exactly what the UFC said from the other side. Watcher, it is true. Colby is his own manager now. But and I think stuff like that happened with the Wilder Joshua stuff a lot. I think there's a lot of things that Hearn did not tell AJ, and I definitely think there's a ton of stuff that Shelley and did not tell Deontay. And I do give Hearn one credit. Hearn does try to reach out to fighters directly. Have you seen that? He'll message them on Instagram or something. And I think you might not like the guy, but I think you have to sit down and have a conversation or something.
Yeah, I mean, like,
He
technically,
wanted to scoop guys out of the way.
he technically, he technically
go ahead.
can't do that legally.
Yeah, but there's always back channels.
Legally, he technically can't talk to another fighter, like in their DMs. But that's what I'm saying is like when you hear Deontay Wilder, you actually hear that Deontay Wilder is at those meetings.
He was at one meeting.
Huh?
He was at one meeting, that DAZN meeting. And Hearn wasn't even there, apparently.
And he also talked about talking to Hearn with Shelley about the 15, about the 5, about the 9, about the no rematch clause.
Yeah, but going back to what you said, Michael. Oh shit, Michael dropped off. But as far as like with the Bud and Errol Spence factions, like if you will, like people picking their side and like sticking to it.
Adversarial Negroes.
Yeah, like the adversarial factions
Negroes.
of fans and whatnot. Like I think more, and like this is coming from me. Like one, I used to be a way bigger Errol Spence fan than I was a Bud Crawford fan. Two, or not fanboy, but I liked him more than I liked Bud Crawford. But two, you do hear a lot of these channels that like kind of like cat for Errol Spence, and they'll say, "Oh, all these Bud Crawford fans, this or like." There's not. I like honestly, like there's not a big faction.
Man, they were capping for Montiel, dude. I got talking to the comments about somebody the other day. Fucking, the dude was saying, "Oh, well, the reason he chose Montiel is because Montiel is, he's a strong puncher and he's an all-action fighter. Montiel is a bum. Montiel is a bum."
Sure. Nah, but going back to what I was saying, it like to me, like as far as those negotiations go, as it relates to like the YouTube boxing community or the YouTube boxing world, like there's more of a stronger, way bigger fan base for Errol Spence. I'm not gonna deny that one iota. Like there's not like a real strong faction of Bud Crawford being from the fact that he's like coming out of Nebraska. I mean, like nobody lives in Nebraska.
Nobody knows.
The fact that he doesn't have like a bright personality, the fact that he's married to a sister, this dude black as shit, like fucking from the hood, like he doesn't have like a real approachable like aspect to him, which are not bad things in my eyes. Like everything I just mentioned, I think are actually good things. But like they make it seem like a lot of these people that are from the more existent faction of Errol Spence fans. Married to a sister. I mean, like married to a black chick like him. You said I live in Nebraska? No way. But like they make it seem like there's a big ass like faction of Bud Crawford fans that are contending against him and not like and advising or like making videos about Bud Crawford not taking the fight. Like I never said that one iota. And I think a lot of the people that make these videos that aren't like subscribing to the notion that Errol Spence is looking like to make the fight and like Bud Crawford's holding it up, it's not I don't think that faction of Bud Crawford fans really exists like that. I think a lot of people are just becoming disenfranchised with Errol Spence, i.e. me, and want him to get off that bullshit, like fucking up. And now if Errol Spence business or like, because people always like relegate to the, well, he's just making business moves. Like, my man, you work in fucking Costco stocking toilet paper. Like, get off of it. Like, you don't know shit about business, and neither do I. But if he really wanted to make the fight, like he wouldn't. I think like if that was his desire, like just trumpet the 50-50 shit everywhere you go. Make it seem like it's Bud avoiding you rather than like you avoiding Bud by really trumpeting the fact that like that's the fight you want and like you're willing to give 50-50. Not like put a message out there once or twice, like that sort of sounds like that. Like really be about it as far as like calling for this fight. I don't really see that from neither guy. But I do see a lot of people that like just straight up like trash like Bud fucking which is, I mean, like it's like corny as fuck. Like, you know, both fan bases are consistent of largely brothers. You know, a lot of the people that are like jumping on the Bud train, like maybe a lot of them just don't like Errol Spence, and like maybe you have a little bit of a mix that's not brothers, that are coming into like maybe being more like supposed Bud fans. But cut the shit, like, you know, like they're both brothers. Like, I mean, and these are like for the content creators that are brothers, or that are really like have a hard time reporting things that Errol Spence does that are like kind of like don't seem like he wants to fight. Like, you know, get off of it, bro. Like, fucking, you know, let's all push towards like trying to make this fight happen. Like, you don't gotta like play like, you know, provide cover like when Errol Spence does something unsavory. Like, I'm not doing that shit for Bud. Like, fucking like, let's just push for this fight. Like, this is the fight I want the most. I want this fight way more than I want Wilder versus fucking AJ, Wilder versus Fury, because those fights already lost their luster. Like, they you know, a lot of losses are already happened, and I don't want that shit to happen with neither one of these guys.
Yeah, I think they all have losses pretty much, or a draw or something, right? So they've all kind of not been, there's no dominant force in the heavyweight division.
But the dangerous thing is that if Bud Crawford lost to anybody at 147, or if Errol Spence lost to anybody at 147, it would be a clear indication that these guys, Father Time has caught up to them, including like losing to Manny Pacquiao. You know, and what I want to see, like older Errol Spence or a older Bud fight.
Errol Spence is how old now? 31?
31.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Knocked a few years off though.
Pardon me?
I said Derrick Rick knocked a few years off though.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, you know, and like all things, you know, all things aside, you know, there's a danger in like, you know, people trying to give Manny Pacquiao a gift decision per se. Let's, you know, or for instance, if they try to give Manny Pacquiao a gift decision, that fight loses all its allure. And then like people are gonna say, oh well, you know, him giving Manny Pacquiao a rematch, like, you know, is the biggest fight. Like, yeah, it probably will be the biggest fight. Like, it's gonna, you know, like him fighting his Bud is gonna lose a lot of like luster. You know, if somebody takes a loss in all this, and it's not like people are gonna come back around and say, oh well, you know, Errol Spence like ducked like Bud, and like, you know, now Bud lost, or it's just like what's best for boxing is these two guys to fight.
That's probably the biggest fight in boxing, for technical wise, just skill wise, just it's the most important fight I think in boxing.
Look what happens with Charlo. I mean, like Charlo,
Spence Crawford,
I mean, was a shoo-in like to beat Castano, like, you know, this undersized guy like that doesn't have like real crazy punching power. He's like kind of like up and down.
I said it'd be a close fight, but a lot of people said it'd be a close fight.
I thought like he was gonna run through Castano, to be frank.
No.
Like, but I wasn't looking at the fact that, you know, a lot of these things that like Jermell may have had potential to have, but wasn't really showing in the ring. And Castano did see that stuff and expose the shit out of it. So now, like, you know, unification loses its luster.
I think in a rematch, Castano is better. He'll probably work his jab more. He'll be in better shape. But I think Jermell will probably listen more. He'll probably be a bit more aggressive. So we'll see what happens. But if I'm Jermell, I would just get right in there. Because you proved you could hurt this guy. So you might as well go ahead and try to do it again. There's really nowhere else for him to go. And even if he unifies, or if Castano unifies, I think they should stay at 154, the winner or loser. They shouldn't move up to 60.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's gonna, and more so for Jermell, I think that's the case. Like, where he should just try to campaign at 154, because they ain't shit for you at 160.
Both
they
of those
nothing you want up there.
Time at 60. Either of those guys, beat Andre? No.
Hells no, bro.
No. So
I don't think Jamal won't beat Andre. I think
Yeah, I don't even think Jermell beats Andre now. I think Andre's always been a more technical fighter than Jermell, but I mean, it's like they're in that. It's not. They're just in a tough position. Those guys at 154. I think Jaron Ennis can move up to 160 because he's big. He has that frame eventually. But Jermell, no. Castano, no. Harrison, no, really. I thought Hurd could move up to 160. I know he fought at 160, but he just lost again. But there's some other issues going on with him. But I don't know.
Yeah, but this is to all these people. Like, I mean, like this should be a lesson, somewhat to a lot of these people that play defense. Like, you know, when it comes to not making fights, you know, like a couple of years ago, like I mean, like and Mike was thoroughly involved in like a lot of these same things like I was, as far as like the bile that we would get like in our fucking throat when a Dillian White was brought up to fight Wilder instead of AJ being brought up, and then fucking like look what happens, like Wilder loses, AJ loses, fucking Ruiz loses, like, you know, all these fights are like whack now, bro. Like like, you know, Tyson Fury's lost, or fucking you know, lost his mind. You know,
and the draw. Don't forget the draw. He's not unblemished either. He'll be losing soon. If he didn't lose, he already basically did. He said himself that he counts the draw as a loss. So let's call it a loss, right? All of these guys are blemished, so one form or another, right? Or if they got a loss, they got a draw. They've got two losses, or Charlo's got a loss and a draw. You know, it's like I don't know, man.
I don't. This is just me, like, and that's what I keep trying to tell folks, man. Like, a lot of these fights haven't lost luster to me. Like, when you out here actually fighting people and taking risks, somebody's just gonna have to fucking lose, man. And that's just what it is. And you know, unfortunately, you know, Wilder took an L. A couple of other people took an L. But so what? Like, to me, those are the fights that I want to see. And it's like, it didn't lose luster with me. Probably with somebody else or whatever. But those are the fights that I want to see no matter what. And, you know, that's how I think we should keep it. It's like, if it's the fights that you want to see, those are the fights that you really, you want to buy.
No, but it does lose its luster a little bit, Mike. Because I mean, like,
to you, not to
but
me.
look at AJ's case. Like, he lost to like Ruiz. Nobody saw that coming.
No,
Wilder losing to Fury. I mean, like,
you can't tell me how I feel about it. You can't tell me how I feel about it. You can tell me how you feel about it. But to me, it ain't lost no luster.
Yeah, if Fury had pity patted his way to a decision against Wilder, I wouldn't say a word, dude. I wouldn't even open my mouth.
But it, like, in my eyes, it would be like, you know, always wanting a Ferrari and then buying one like with the fucking big ass dent like on the side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're getting it, like, you know, but it'll have like a lore like with some hardcores like us here on the panel or like some of the people in the chat. But it doesn't have that breakthrough appeal, one, and it does lose a little luster. I mean, like at the end of the day, like, I mean, like, you know, it's better to see those O's at the end of the records, like, you know, and have that probability of losing it when the night's over, you know. But you know, and I mean, like, from the time like I even like met Mike per se, and that was years ago. I don't even know fucking year. I was living in Jersey City still, but fucking you know, when Mike was like first making videos a lot, and I was making videos, it was mostly about like fucking the AJ Wilder shit. And now, like, I mean, is that fight gonna happen like next? I don't think they're gonna fight. You know, if Wilder loses against Fury, like, we're not gonna see that fight. And there's a good chance of that too. I mean, there's a good chance that Wilder don't even fight Fury. I don't know. It's just like the way boxing like is done. You know, yeah, a lot of it is like mispromotion or like waiting too long, but time like just catches up to you. Like, and in no time, like, I mean, I already know Mike for like 3 or 4 years, I think, at least. 3 or 4 years a lot, bro. Like fucking, I'm different from 3 or 4 years ago. Like fucking, I look better. Fucking, just kidding. But these things like do have an expiration date, and like the more that we, get off on making videos about like fucking who doesn't deserve what, in no time it's gonna be 2022, and like fucking God knows what's gonna happen then. God knows who launches through a window or fucking gets shot, like fucking gets corona. We
Wilder,
really
Wilder, AJ,
with any fight, like, because at the end of the day, like right now,
you want to see Wilder fight AJ if quote unquote he loses to Fury?
No, hell's no. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it's a like a guilty pleasure fight, yeah. But I mean, like,
I want anything in the world just for Fury to lose, just to be vindicated, to prove that he's not as good as everybody says he is. And you'll be coming back cap in hand very soon.
Oh no, I think I could stake my claim on that one. Not to say that this guy's like top billing, but
they're all on the same level is what I'm trying to push to guys. Like, you just cannot erase that first fight, no matter what you say. That was a draw, dude. Was that first night draw? And you can't say that Fury was totally out of shape. I would say he was at 85%, maybe 90%, but he was in better physical shape in the first one than the second one. And he got a draw with Wilder. All of these dudes are on the same level, on the same playing field. Wilder, Fury, I think, are. They definitely are. And each of them can make adjustments to beat each other in different times. Fury does not have the better of Wilder. He caught Wilder where he moved wrong. I do think Fury can pity pat and beat him on a decision. That's not something out of, that's not something out of the ordinary. But to say that he can come in and just beat him up and all that stuff and no resistance and that's how it's always going to be, that's a lie.
Oh no, I'm not saying that he'll do the shit he did in the second fight. But I think with both AJ and Fury, if AJ goes into a fight with per se like Wilder, he would do exactly the same shit that he did against Ruiz in the second fight, which is like move around and like. I think there's a good chance that maybe Wilder like can't catch up to him, like fucking or that like he could coast into a decision.
No, but Andrew Ruiz had no fucking leg. Andrew Ruiz was out of shape. Andrew Ruiz was overweight. That's the reason why he couldn't catch him. We gotta keep it real. Like that's what I keep trying to tell folks. Like if once these boxers realize that that their opponents that they're facing, like Tyrone said, it's not that much in the heavyweight division. A lot of people ain't that better than the next person.
That's what I'm on about. I just don't like this stuff that Fury's got.
There isn't that much difference between people.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably height, there's probably reach and stuff like that. Yeah, it's probably stamina. Yeah, it's probably trainers and stuff like that. But there ain't that much between these guys and stopping you from losing. The main problem is people just figuring out how to win. Mm-hmm. Fury is beatable. Wilder is beatable.
Very beatable.
AJ is beatable. Andrew Ruiz is beatable. All these guys are beatable. But it's like people keep wanting to tell people like these guys are unbeatable. They're Superman, they're Supergirl, or whatever the case may be you want to call AJ. But everybody is beatable. And I'm telling you, and I'm gonna tell you guys again. I think Wilder's going to outbox him. And people could say, "Oh, I don't think so." Blah blah blah. Woo woo. But guess what? It's my prerogative, and ain't nobody that damn good in the heavyweight division to say they can't be outboxed. I'm not talking about no motherfucking. Weird. I'm not talking about if it was what's his name? Tom Schwartz versus Tyson Fury, or Tom Schwartz versus Deontay Wilder. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the top guy. There ain't no saying what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
What if Tyson Fury shows up drunk, like Deontay Wilder did? I'm not talking about he was drunk, but he looked fucked up. God forbid. What if Wilder actually fucking uses his jab and actually uses his God-gifted abilities, them legs, them skinny ass legs of his? Then what? Then what is Tyson Fury going to do?
They're just going to shift the
moving his
narrative.
head back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, that's more of like a what if, like fucking. I mean, even that fight, like, I can't even like. I'm not like 100% sure that Wilder and Fury are gonna fight. Like fucking like Fury knows that like right as of right now that he could go out with the fucking illest disease to ever fucking land upon the fucking face of the planet. Taking pictures, bailing out of another fight with Wilder, and that the media is pretty much gonna stay mum about it. You think like the media is gonna like really pressure like fucking Fury to fight like fuck? And I mean like you know,
yeah, they will, because I'm telling you, they done with this dude. Like people are really getting done with these guys. This guy, and I'm telling you, this is it. This is it. If he does not get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, this is his last straw. Because people have had enough. I'm talking about these people. They giving him basically the benefit of the doubt right now. But there's people out there like Lance Pugmire and all them cats. They're on their edge of their seat right now. Wait. They're waiting right now. All of them. They tired of this shit. Ain't no way in hell can somebody keep coming up over here and just getting in the ring when they fucking feel like it, dictating to everybody else.
He's already done it.
And that's what I'm saying.
And there was no pushback against it though.
People are getting fed up.
No, I think the boxing.
He's the only one besides Canelo, but at least Canelo could get in the fucking ring.
Yeah, but like look at Canelo. How often do people mention that Canelo cheated or like zero? It barely happens.
No, people have. They got articles. People question his gloves. People question articles, questioning Canelo's gloves, articles, questioning Triple G's gloves. For real.
Yeah, but when it came time to put pen on paper and like give somebody the biggest contract probably like ever, like for doing nothing, they went right to Canelo. And like it's not like he moves the needle like that. Like I mean, like
yeah. Well, I'll tell you why. Because the zone's plan wasn't just America. The zone plan is worldwide. That's why the zone is up over there, I believe, in Mexico right now. And that's the reason why Canelo's staying up over there with his own, talking about he a free agent and he don't want to do business, do this and that, and the third with PBC or for a multi-fight deal. That's because he's the front runner because of the zone and he's trying to get Mexico. They're trying to get a stronghold on Mexico by way of Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez is actually, if you think about it, has diminished his value with the zone because he's not even getting half the money that he would be getting if he was by himself.
No, but I'll put like going back to what I was saying. Per se, if Fury says like I'm going through a mental episode again and I'm gonna retire, and then Fury takes off 2022, bro, nobody's gonna come after him like that. Like fucking like the old media or popular media, they're just gonna make another fucking documentary about him.
Well,
like going through some shit, like fucking.
Well, because nobody. I mean, I'm not trying to give him an out for this one, but that mental health shit is something that people don't want to mess with. They don't want to. That's the reason why you got boxers out here dropping around talking about. I got mental health. I can't fight, and nobody's batting an eye because nobody wants to touch it.
Imagine Wilder saying that he has a mental health issue. Like fucking, they would kill Wilder.
They wouldn't touch it, but I would guarantee anything attached to MTK, anything attached to Natural Boxing, Sky Sports, the Mirror, the Sun, and all that, they'd tear his ass up.
In the lead up to the first Fury fight, he was like, Well, he said that I thought about this is Wilder. He was sitting ringside after he trained. He was like, I thought about suicide too. After my daughter was born, I had a gun in my hand and I was contemplating it. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Hells no. So corny.
Nobody really. I don't believe it.
But that's the thing. But you see what kind of fans we are. Like, we can say things bad about Deontay Wilder, but you say that shit around some people, they'll blow a gasket.
Oh yeah. When I heard it, I didn't believe it for 1 second.
How dare you?
I didn't believe it for 1 second.
He was working for his wife. Nah, fuck that shit. I ain't working for nobody.
That's like the game. He always does these like corny ass things on like social media, like fucking like that. You could clearly tell that he thought of like that morning and shit, like fucking like so transparent. But like the same shit with all these dudes, bro. Like fucking, they just try to jump on to whatever like they think harebrained fucking thing is gonna make them look cool or sympathetic. That shit is corny as fuck. Though,
the fuck I look like, mom? Clapping my cheeks for my old lady. I ain't clapping. I ain't popping nothing.
I was saying it. You were immediately shaking your head. You're like, nah, hell no. No way. I didn't. I think it was a response to all the stuff that Fuhrer was saying about mental health, which was bullshit too. So he said, Deontay, what you gotta do something. I know. I'm gonna say this.
LAB came to his house and rang his bell.
You know what, Tyrone? That sounds about right though, because why would your daughter come out messed up? You the breadwinner, shoot yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, now when I think about it, it's like what you said. It may be like him saying, like, what the fuck I look like killing myself when I got to take care of my family.
And I heard the stories like this before. You know how people will say like, "Oh man, I was sitting down contemplating." They get a pistol from somewhere, nobody knows where they got it from, and they're just looking at it, thinking about shooting them. No way in hell. I don't believe that for one moment. But that's just my opinion.
Like my dad, rest in peace. He got jumped one time, and he went to my uncle's house, his brother. Fucking and he was like, because my father was carrying a boombox, they robbed him of it, but he went to my uncle's house to go get him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm coming right down," like fucking but my uncle was taking mad long, and when he finally came down, he's like, "What the fuck? Like, why do you take so long?" He's like, "Oh, I had to shave," and he took a shower too. Like, you ain't really want it, bro. Like, that's like these dudes, bro. Like they just throw themselves onto whatever cause, and it's corny, bro. That's the youth, though, I guess.
He in the shower trying to psych himself up like, whoo, I don't want to do it. Damn. I ain't put that. Maybe he can leave.
Yeah, bro. Hold on. It wasn't about his daughter. You should probably watch that interview again. Let us know, though, too, man, if
yeah, well, tell him what he said.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I don't remember. He came out with that. He said those exact words. He said, I was looking at the gun in my hand and I was contemplating suicide. I was like, nope, lie. No way. Nope. This is just a media hype for Fury. Nope.
Yeah, trying to throw on to the cause. Yo, but I got to break out, guys. Any last words?
Shut up. You ain't going nowhere. You're going to stay down here as long as we want you to.
Actually, no. Like, the Mets are losing now, fucking, so I'll stay on anyway.
Thank you.
If they tie up, though, I got to break out. But Watcher said I don't really care. Yeah, I mean, like, fucking.
No, I was just saying, just like correct us. Like, damn, like if we get something wrong, don't let us fucking sit up over here. We can keep repeating something that's wrong.
I didn't see that. My recollection is that was about his daughter, and he was talking about a story. He had a pistol in his hand, and he contemplated suicide. I thought that was a lie.
But, I mean, regardless, it's not even a huge deal. Like, he probably. If he did say that he contemplated killing himself,
I don't believe that.
Yeah, and it's corny too.
Mental health, so shit.
Yeah, Tyson Fury doesn't have it either. I think guys at the top level. I mean, I don't see it.
I seriously think that Tyson Fury, he's one of the people that just can't deal with pressure. Pressure blows pipes. Some people they just can't deal with pressure. You know what I'm saying? When they get all these belts and everything, and then all the weight is on the world for them to produce, they got too much pressure on them, and they don't perform like they're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Just some people, they just natural born fuck up.
Nah, but also too, I mean, like, you know, like in the case of Fury, you got bread, you know, you're a big ass dude. Wherever you go, like people notice you. And then you go like back to like the gypsy community, like a bunch of people like that were you were subservient to, like maybe back in the day, like fucking are now dick riding you. It's probably a party all the time for him, and then you get back to reality.
They probably don't like his guts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Probably know he used to be a bitch. Look, this is how I know something's fucked up. Well, what Tyson Fury's daddy said. He basically said that if I was his son, I would snitch. Now, all of a sudden, gypsies are snitchers.
Snitch on what?
He said, if I was my son, I wouldn't have nobody going around here, besmirching my name in the streets and blah, blah, blah. I would have took him to court. That's snitching.
What, like about Fury cheating and all that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of see that, like, because I mean, like, you know, but Fury's father's a fucking G, bro. Like, what? I mean, honestly, bro, like, I actually like.
I don't.
You know,
he ain't a G. I tell you why he ain't a G.
No,
that motherfucker's G'd out. Bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That dude's
Have you seen him knocked out? He runs his mouth. The dude talks about how he's this tough guy and everything else, but we saw what he's all about.
There's a dude right
John
now
Fury?
older than him.
Yes.
There's a dude right now older than him. They've been having a beef from back in the days, and he's been trying to get him in the ring, and he running.
Apparently, yeah.
But he's supposed to be this big and bad dude. Talking about he whooped this dude's ass, that guy's ass, yelling at people. Remember how he tried to do Deontay Wilder, right? Tough guy, right? But when that old man, just older than him, called his ass out in the boxing ring, he said no. And he was on parking. He's on parking. Parking got a whole interview with him.
I saw that, and the whole gap. Oh, let me get to watch it. Did I add the PSN? It's not showing up. It's not showing up. Just try sending it again to my PlayStation. But he gouged a man's eye out. Apparently, yes, and then he cried, like he broke down in court. Is actually, you can find it in the paper, like the Manchester paper that they have over there. He was crying and begging the judge for leniency, and that he said, "Please, if I could give my own eye, I'd get." Like, he was just bald. Like you can see it on the thing. And my thing is,
but you can't blame him for that, though, bro. Yo, I know fucking killers that have done that shit.
No, that's fine, but don't make out you're a tough guy. That's all I'm saying.
No, I know legitimate tough guys that have done that in court, like to try to get leniency. It didn't work, but you know,
they didn't. They cried.
As long as you ain't snitching in court, like I mean, like what you do there, like I mean, like you got to navigate that, you know, like that. That's, you know, your life, you know, like in somebody else's hands, like based on
Bill Cosby didn't.
What's up?
Bill Cosby didn't. Bill
Cosby couldn't even see. And
no. Bill Cosby. If you, let me break it down to you.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby basically told them, "I'm not doing none of those programs, none of that. I don't care."
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not doing none of that. Yeah, he's like, I didn't do it. Like what y'all saying, I did it, so I'm not doing it. And then not only that, Bill Cosby told them that he wanted to be a general population. He didn't say that he specifically asked to be a G-pop. Not no fucking all by himself and shit. He wanted to be a general population. That's a tough guy.
No, and I know somebody who legitimately murked somebody, and he fucking snitched. Like,
damn.
Yeah, and like I mean, like, you know, I don't like condone that shit one iota. Like, and I, you know, came up with the dude, but that dude definitely, you know, like I mean, he wasn't a pussy, basically. I mean, like, fucking, I could talk bad about him now, but like, you know, fucking, like he was known for putting in work, but when it came time, I mean, like, he fucking, he snitched out, like, fucking, I mean, I guess he was young, but what are you gonna do? But you know, what you do in court, like, as long as you don't snitch, I mean, like, fucking, I mean, yo, like, if I had a legit court case, bro, like, fucking, I might do some crime myself, bro. Like, I'd probably put some glass in my fucking sneakers or some shit and fucking try to exert some tears, like, fucking. If it
was the boxer talking more. It was him. He did it. He did it.
No, definitely I wouldn't snitch though, bro. Like, fucking, I wouldn't snitch now as a civilian, like, fucking. I'm civilian itself, but you know. What as long as it's not snitching, you know, you do what you do, I guess. And when it comes to the courtrooms, like, fucking, I know I would, but I wouldn't fucking turn on nobody. I ain't no bitch like that. Give me 1 second, bro. I gotta check the score. Oh, I gotta break out, bro.
We want to do some crime together, El Foul Player.
I'm sorry?
Do you want to do some crime together, El Foul Player? That's what Watcher just said.
Let me see. I might.
Man, Watcher ain't doing shit. He
Nah, hells no, bro. Like, yo, I'm a straight square today. Like, fucking, and you can look up my friend too. That I said, like, is actually in the newspapers. His name is Ralphie Castro. Fucking I also know somebody. Huh?
He's a grasser.
I'm sorry.
He's a grasser, huh?
What's that mean? I don't know what that means.
Snitch.
Yeah, but I mean, he murked the motherfucker too in front of a bunch of people. I mean, like, fucking, and I seen him do 100 other like crazy ass things, like stabbing motherfuckers, like, you know. But the dude was in buns, like, fucking, and he actually backed up another friend of mine, like, fucking, and my other friend, I thought he wasn't buns, but he fucking caved in like a bitch, like, fucking, when my man Castro pressed him up. But you know, you never know. I mean, like, fucking, I mean, like, who cares? I mean, like, none of you guys, like, hopefully none of you guys ever end up in fucking court, bro. Like, I'll be highly disappointed in Tyrone fucking catching a body in the streets of Maryland.
Oh, no way. I'm more of a square than you are.
I'll literally go to jail and beat you up, bro. Like, fucking
shit. The last time I was in court was for drag racing.
Nah, the last time I was in court was never been. I'm a ticket, boy. And the judge was being a fucking abject cunt. But besides that, I don't, like, I'm done with the court system or any system. Fuck that. Freedom is a big deal, bro. Like, fucking, a lot of, like, I know people, like, the dude that I'm telling you that caught that case was always the stupidest shit. I didn't even know he had beef with that guy, like, or the guy that he snitched on had beef with that guy. It was, like, dumb. The guy wasn't even a big guy like that. Like, they probably could have boxed him up. The guy that my homeboy that was, like, that time that I was in my whip that I brought him on, that he got snitched on. I mean, like, his case was fucking stupid as shit too. Like, I mean, like, I was mad disappointed when he got in trouble. You know, fuck. I'm gonna bring him on next time though, like, cause he legit got, like, snitched on, like, fucking and it sucks. I mean, like, fucking.
I think you already had him on, didn't you?
No, but I want to bring him on, like, to say, like, cause this dude's, like, his story is bananas. Like, fucking I mean, like, he was like the gangs are here, like the Trinis, like they're probably the biggest gang in, like, not the biggest, but they're, like, the toughest in jail. But he was around them, like, when they were, like, kind of, like, formulating pretty much. And this is, like, a young guy when that happened. But I would like to bring him on, like, just to say his story, like, how he got yammed up and all this shit, like, running around, like, fucking 6th Avenue, like, you know, like, I think it'll make good content. The other, I'm not gonna put the other guy's story out there. Like, the other guy that made a video with me in the past, he got a crazy ass story too. I want to bring him on, like, so he could tell all the shit he been through. Like, but and he's like super squared out like me too. Like fucking nowadays, probably even more than me. Like fucking like he doesn't look like the type. None of my friends like that are like tough look like the type. Like, cause we never dressed like, you know, baggy and all that shit. But you know, I want to start bringing them on like to say their stories. But my other boy that came onto the channel the other day, like he's met up like because he's my boy from Queens, but he's met up with a lot of the people I'm telling you about, like fucking and they're like super nice guys. Like, you know, whenever he came through to my hood, they'd always show him mad love, like fucking and like my friends don't act like tough guys, or like the people I'm telling you don't act like tough, like, or you wouldn't be able to tell like they were like tough, but they're fucking, you know, serious business. But yo, let me break out though, man, because the Mets are fucking as we speak, my friend. 9-8, bro. We're coming back. Like fucking 1 inning left too. But yo, let the people know where we can find you. Watch, you got to bring your ass on too next time, man. I like when it's the four of us together. No homo. But let the people know where we can find you, Tyrone.
TS Boxing on YouTube.
Yeah, bro. Like, yo, and I actually got to go down your way too, man. Like fucking if you're whipping it, bro, like fucking maybe we can meet up along 95, like fucking
95.
I'll take you to lunch in one of the fucking rest stops.
All right, that's if I got to get out there.
Or one of the scenic points.
It don't seem like you making it back. He about to sell your kidneys, Tyrone.
Nah, bro. I travel with family. Fucking yo, but what about you, Mike? Let the people know where we can find you.
Oh man, you can find me at downtown at your local government assistance line. Usually I'm there at the first of the month. Waiting to put my hand out, man, for that Eat Better Tonight card. That's where you can find me.
And please subscribe to like my panelists. Subscribe to Watcher. Subscribe to L Dub Boxing. Lala D. Like Lowe's Dawkins, the Pimpins. My brother fucking said the judge was what? Let me know what you were referring to. Like maybe I could answer before I dip off. But who else is in our little tandem? Fucking you'll find me in the crocodile's mouth. Nah. In the Aussie streets that are about to fucking pop like a fucking kettle cooker this summer. But anybody I'm missing that like from our little WhatsApp tandem that I could tell the people to subscribe to, Mike? Or if you think about anybody, you let me know. Or if I missed anybody, my bad. But you know, and thanks for anybody who stuck around and checked me out like while I cooked with my homies. But thanks for coming through. And with that, I'm out. Peace.
Yay, yay.